Here we go. Well, hello, everybody. It's Dr. Hank, and welcome to Agent Wealth Success. And specifically, this is all about our mastermind set and mastermind group. And we have developed just some amazing things here. This is for all real estate professionals. And it'll just help you to give you new ideas. So I would recommend for all of you to make sure that you're taking notes on this, that there will just be some other information that you just haven't heard of before, or maybe you've heard of for the fifth time, but now it's the sixth time and all of a sudden you get it. And so just to share with you on how far ahead and happier we are, that I was just earlier this morning, I was on a national podcast with a real estate professional and with all their people. And she's Amanda, she's real connected with all kinds of agents. And her question to me was, well, now that the states are opening up, you know, my agents haven't been doing any business at all. And so do you think this is going to be a good time to do business? And, you know, I almost fell down hearing that your agents haven't done any business in the last 3 months, where, you know, we've been doing all of this business. And in fact, Chris, you just got your license, and don't you have a couple of deals already that you're working?
Yeah, so really I took my test on, it was the 8th. And so I think I was licensed like on the 12th, and I have about 7 different people I'm working with right now, some investors, some leases, some homeowners, and, you know, a lot of it just to really kick that off. Either my leads have came through OpCity, yeah, or just being active on social media. I have one friend that's moving from Kansas to Dallas, but other than that, it's only just what I've done from marketing myself through social media and taking those phone calls on OpCity. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And so we have 5 lead programs that we developed, and that, you know, and you might have heard of some of the lead programs, but our uniqueness is the training that we have. So for example, on OpCity, Brennan, she got the first month with me. She decided out of the 5 different lead programs to do OpCity, and she got over $1 million worth of business in the first month with me. And her key was, and we actually have a video on this, and so if you guys want to, and you don't ask me for that video, that we have a video that that really goes through the script and the pre-work that you do with OpCity and the script. But just briefly to share with you on the pre-work is that when you get a lead in, you'll see what area they are and, you know, what house they maybe were interested in. And so you want to do a little research. You just don't want to call them. Do some research about that home, about the neighborhood, about the area, whatever you can about them. And you can even go on Facebook and do a search and try to get them, but find out about them. So this is I'm going to make 50 calls. That most people that use OpCity, that they do at least 100 calls to get one deal. And with you, you should be able to do much better than that. Bren was at about 1 out of 5, typically, where she's closing deals with them.
I'm sorry? 1:30. No, 1 o'clock.
Oh, Paula, you're on here.
Sorry. So I muted. So sorry.
Oh, I just did mute all, but you're not turning off on there. Okay, there. That's fine. And it's all good. And Paula's just amazing too on everything that she has done. So so let's do back to OpCity. So one of the things is the pre-work that you do, and it just takes a couple of minutes, but just find out what area they're looking for, what house, whatever information about them on Facebook or whatever. And so when you call, you have something in common with them. You kind of understand what they want, so you really sound like the professional that you are. And also look around the marketing area on what house were they looking at, and like what other homes are available there. And so you would be able to do that. And then you actually get into the script. And so Bren has just a great way. Again, she closed over $1 million on OpCity, using OpCity. But we have our own very special programs too, and we're going to actually talk about the new home building program today. But I wanted to take you back a little and just kind of do a review. And so I'd like you to just sink in these thoughts and think about, hey, what am I going to do? So first of all, the 3 top considerations when someone is selecting an agent is your relevant local expertise. So do you have relevant local expertise? We just talked about that with OpCity, is that, oh, I know that area, okay? Even though Brent maybe didn't know that area, she would look up to it. Community reputation, and that goes into the social media. And if you haven't taken advantage of Karen Alberts, who's basically the guru of social media expert in America for real estate agents, that you need to get with her, because she will actually go through the 10 ways to stay relevant and top of mind using social media, because it's your community reputation. And how are you going to get a community reputation? Well, you can't just go out and be meeting people, whatever, especially in the way the world is right now. And so it's basically on social media. It's also very effective on social media on that. Now, another leads program that really is beyond the 5th one is to start your own business with a video, and not business, that actually a Facebook page. So you should have a Facebook, make up a new Facebook page. And what you do is you interview businesses on saying, hey, you know, are you open now? And, you know, I'd like to interview you. So you go contact business owners, you ask them, hey, I'd like to interview you, and then you just go with your phone and you put this on video. And what happens, you then put it up on Facebook and on that page of yours. And what happens is people in your community start gravitating towards your page because you have relevant information about the businesses, about what they do, and then typically ask the business owner for some type of discount or some type of offer in order to entice people to start coming back into their store. So it's a great way. It can be CPAs, attorneys, convenience stores. I mean, you know, you name it, any type of place, a strip mall, go to the strip mall and call on every one of them. But I have people that have over a $30 million business on an annual basis just using this one point. And so we got, what was that? Kata's, I did Kata, and she did something like, where was she? Oh, Prosper. It was in Prosper, Texas. So it was Prosper with Kata. And so she didn't really sell real estate, you know, that she was real estate, but they knew she was, and she put like real estate agent, you know, whatever on it. But it was mainly about them, these businesses. Well, guess what? You now build relationships with business owners and then with their employees, okay, and then with their customers. So you end up growing a huge business by helping promote these other businesses. And, you know, Ryan, we had Ryan on last week, and Ryan was just amazing on sharing with us on, he basically just gets out there. And so he's making, and like Teresa's another one where Teresa makes house calls. Ryan is in house calls. So to your client, say, hey, I'd like to stop by, give you a, you know, a chocolate bar or whatever. And if they want social distancing, whatever, you know, be courteous to whatever they are, because there's different beliefs out there. Some people think, hey, I need to stand 6 feet apart and have a mask, and in some places legally you have to do it. And some people say, hey, and as long as it's not a legal place, you know, to do it, and some people think, hey, it's not necessary. Fact is, there's the same amount of people that die every year, by the way, and that the CDA just came out with that. There were actually less people that died this year in the first 4 months than there were in the first 4 months of last year and the year before, and a lower percentage of people. And so it's like, oh my gosh, January through April. So same amount of people, just different, it's pneumonia is actually the #1 killer. So, and I share that with you just to give you a little ease that, hey, it's okay. There's not something that's going to go out and kill you unless you start getting fearful of it. Then you'll attract whatever, and it probably won't even be that virus. It'll be something else. But for you to just be thinking about you being healthy, building your business, and being able to do that. So top 3 considerations when selecting an agent: your relevant local expertise, your community reputation, and your local connections. And this is where we come together, no matter where you are in the U.S., there's people all over the U.S. on right now, that this is on local connections, that this is where not just the connections with the business, but connections within real estate professionals. So, title, inspectors. And so we have all those kind of people, to include investors, et cetera, on that. And then reminder on to get on really to be visible and to look professional is to call on Karen Albert. She has 10 ways to stay relevant and top of mind using social media. Now, we also talked, and again, we're going to get into, I'm just reviewing kind of all the different things that we have done here recently, the last month or so, but just to understand where the world is going, that they're looking at being more remote, more virtual. They're looking more clean than green. So the environment was really hot. Now it's more about, hey, I want to be clean. New homes are a hot spot right now, and we're going to talk about that and how to get in there. Frontline responders, and so how do you get, we'll talk to you, and in fact, before the show here, I was talking with Chris, and he's a new agent. He already has 7, 8 different people he's working with already. And he got his license on the 8th, so I don't know, in the last 2 weeks. So that's how easy this is. So if you're not getting business out there, there are ways, but you really just need to listen to what I ask you to do, and then pick one of the things, because I'm going to give you a whole selection. It's like a buffet, and you pick the one you want. But frontline responders. So if you want to know about that, you need to contact me, and I'll tell you on how we're doing it and where you can do it. And you can do it anywhere in the United States. Millennials, that's a big one, and in fact we have Victor on. Victor is a relatively new agent, had 3 closings last month, has another 3 this month. It's just, and it's a new agent, and so it's like, maybe you say, well, maybe it's just the luck of being a new agent. No, it's not luck. It's about going out there and using one of these programs. And Victor used the referral program in Texas A&M. He recognized, wow, those are, my people, if you will, and my group. And so he started reaching out to them. And next thing you knew, he had more. So again, as you're hearing all this, you think about, hey, what am I going to be doing? And then there's all kinds of other things. Buyers are more focused on monthly payment versus the sticker price. So this is a new world now. So you are now entering, and by the way, this world is like a hose that has been pitched, okay? And so we got all of this real estate business, and as the states are opening up, that, and it is specifically that I'd say, Georgia, Florida, and Texas are the 3 that are kind of leading that effort. And by the way, they're all the states are decreasing their number of deaths too, and of course all that's because it's flu, and so we're out of flu season, and so they're decreasing even though they open up the state. So everything is okay, and know that you're just fine, but now know that it's a new world out there, that buyers are looking not so much at the sticker price, how much is my monthly payment. And of course the good news for you there is interest rates are at a historic all-time low. I mean, literally that they are down to almost nothing. It is the time to, if they own a home, to refinance, but to, they're going to buy a home, or if they're selling their home, they probably need to live somewhere. And so to buy a home with a better interest rate. So it's really a better deal. Like if it were me, I would say, hey, even though I own a home, I could refinance. Like I want to sell this home because by the way, the sale prices are staying pretty steady. And even some where they're fighting already. I had one where there were 5 offers within 2 days. And so it looks like it's a seller market, and nobody would have guessed that. Everybody thought that, oh, it's like, but not us. And I told you this 2 months ago that home prices would remain steady. And see, in '08, what happened is the economy was broken, and so because of that it took forever. It took years to get a real estate market back. Well, with us, it's this pinched hose, and it's all filled up, and we're open now. So it is just going for us. And so normally spring is our greatest time. So like starting in March, April, May, June, really hot months. Well, that has been delayed now, and your hot months, you're in it. It's going to be June 1st, and literally June 1st, June, July, August. August will probably be the biggest month that we have all year. And so the good news is we got the next 3 months in order to go rock. There's lots of people to serve, and so let's go out and serve. How do you find those people? Again, through the 5 different programs that we have. And if you need to know the 5 different programs, I actually did a special podcast on the 5 different programs. And so we have that lead programs that we have there, but it's a referral program and first responders, new homes, etc. Let's see, and know this also, make sure you pre-qualify your buyers. And the reason why is lenders, they're going to be a little bit harder now on getting a loan. And so they're going to be harder to come by. The credit availability index is the lowest in 6 years, which means it is easy to get a mortgage, okay? That, however, there are some things like, hey, do you have a job? Some things, because the world has changed, they're going to really be looking at to make sure people have jobs, they're working, they're getting paid, that, the company isn't going to go. So you want to make sure, of course, always to get them pre-qualified. And again, I'm just rattling off all of this great information on the industry that you can then take down. It's kind of like a funnel, and you're just going to focus bracket into, hey, here's what I'm going to do this week now, and I'm going to go after it. This is the time. It is open. It's time, folks, to just have fun, serve lots of people, make lots of money. That I see some of you making over 50 grand in the June, July timing. And so just know, hey, own that. Say, yeah, that's what I like that idea. It's yours. So there's 72 millennials. That's the other thing, is 72 million millennials, okay, 24 to 39. So millennials. And again, why do you want to know this? You want to talk smart. You want to know this information, okay, to be able to share. This is the type of things that you're sharing with your prospect to really make you look like the professional. So if you're talking in front of millennials, oh yeah, or whoever, that, you never know, that it might be like that this home that's a 3-2 would be good for a family. Well, you could tell this older couple that's looking to, right size and get into a smaller home, tell them, hey, millennials right now, it's the time to sell. And that there's 72 million millennials out there, ages 24 to 39, and they're in their peak nesting years. And so again, you start talking this stuff, and they just start saying, man, I'm going with you. Because, in listing presentations, for example, there's, they want to know, hey, what do you know? How professional are you? And this is the way to do it. Let's see. So, and then home prices have recovered, and at the same time, they're not overvalued. So it's a great time to talk to buyers or sellers. Now is the time. If you're selling, now is the time that this this crimp in the hose has opened up, and there's all these buyers that are looking to have more. And as the economy opens up, that there's still, so understand that it's what, 30 million people are unemployed. There's 330 million people in the United States. And so, which that unemployment, even though it's high, first of all, that they are expected to get their jobs back, most of them. And most of them are making more money than they were before. And in fact, like fast food places and different retail places, they're having a hard time getting their people back because their people are making more money sitting at home. There's the government, the Fed is paying, states paying unemployment, and the Fed is paying another $600 a week. And so it's like, yeah, they don't. I just talked to a guy up in Wisconsin. He said, hey, this is the best thing ever. He got laid off and he's making more money than he did before. And then a video strategy to support local business in your community, that's a key one. And I would suggest you all do that. Brian has done that. In fact, I went to, it was Ozone. Hey, Marco, that I went to Ozone, and at Ozone that I had, it's a health place, but basically Brian had an interview with the Ozone person. Next thing you know, he's getting leads off of that. And so, it's all about like giving and helping other people. So this is a way to help other people, take a video of them, help other people. And again, I got the pro in America. I interviewed, and I have him on a podcast if you want to take a look at how to do that. So let's move into the new home arena. So there is still a shortage of homes, and so it is in essence a seller's market. That's why prices are stable normally in a recession, but this was a made-up recession, if you will. The economy was fine. And so because of that, and again, it's a great time to buy or sell, but there is an inventory challenge. And so again, I had there were 5 buyers within 24 hours. And so, and again, you being knowledgeable, you being up to speed on the cutting edge on what's going on to help your clients to be able, with this information, to make some really good, intelligent decisions. And so the place as far as where you're going to get a lot, because the other thing is some of these homes, older people, even though they are empty nesters, they're reluctant to move out of their home. They're kind of comfortable where they are, so they're staying longer, if you will. And so it's putting even more pressure on what? On new home builders. So we have a whole new home builders. I can send you, I actually have a handout here that if you want it, you can ask me about it, but it's how to go to a new home builder. So what I would suggest, you Google new home builder near me if you don't already know where they are. And I would take some time to make up a flyer like this. And so basically it would be your picture, and then the picture of the custom builder, whatever picture they have up on their website. This way you customize it instead of just walking in and saying, oh, I'm going to go, hey, I got this idea and I'm going to give you this stuff, that you be professional. And so we are professional real estate, and we're an essential job even. We were called during this pandemic an essential position because, people need a roof over their head. Well, we're going to be at the cutting edge of the professionals because you will be in listing presentations. Typically, people have 2 or 3 agents they're talking to, so you want to be the professional. With this and custom homes, some agents, drop by there. Right now is a great time. They're not as busy, but they get literally hundreds of people typically going through their custom home, whatever location. So the one near you, there are buyers that are looking for homes, and not all of them have a real estate agent. And with the builder, that they have a separate fund to pay us real estate agents. So because of that, there's no negative effect on the cost, but a whole opposite good side for them because they can save money on this. And I'm going to get into the detail on what you're going to offer. But basically, you will have 2 pages. One page is the services that you will provide the builder. The other page will be, and then you could just change this. So go to 5 home builders this week. So this is what I would suggest you do. If you want to have 10 leads a week, this is where this is leading to, by the way, 10 leads a week on warm leads a week. This is what you do. You identify 5 home builders. And with those 5 home builders, and once you create these 2 pages, again, one page is with, so like this is service provided to, and then you have their name on it, and then by your name. Yeah, in this case, it's Esther, real estate agent. And then you have their picture, and then you have an outline of the services that you're going to give the builder. Then you have another page that looks exactly like this, except you have the services that help the buyer. And so I'm going to rattle off these services. Again, I can email this to you, and then you can just take it to whatever way that you want to. But you basically walk in and say, hey, I have an exclusive, and call it exclusive because you will just go to that builder and not other builders in the area, as long as they tell you yes and they got a lot of business going and they can provide and they agree to do all these different things. So, so you go to them and say, hey, I have an exclusive offer just for you because you made up one of these, and again, all you do would change the builder's name and the builder's picture on it, and then you're ready to go to any other builder. But you basically say, hey, I have some exclusive services to offer you. And so here's what I'm going to offer you. And there's a little, a tweak on all this, which is really, really great, is it's all about the sales consultant. So just so you guys understand, now Teresa has added this little twist to it, and I kind of had it, but not like she had. She basically, so in every new home builder, they typically have a model home and they typically have a salesperson in there. Typically, that salesperson is not an agent. They don't have to legally be a real estate agent. And so, but they typically will get paid. And if they're blowing and going, they're getting paid a lot of money, like 2% on every home. And they're selling 10, 20 homes a month. You can imagine how much they're doing if they're a successful sales consultant. So these sales consultants, between you and I, between us girls, is that they they get a little lazy because they're making so much money. Okay, and so now you don't go up and tell them this, but just know that they don't want to do all the jobs that they're supposed to do. So here are the things that you would be willing to do. You say, hey, I'm willing to do these services, and I would hand them one of these pages, and then you have one of these pages, and you just can read right off of it that I'm willing to do an open house for you, open houses. So if you'd like to do every Saturday open houses, I'll put out, signs for open house. I'll advertise you the open house on social media. Okay, this is only one area that we're going to be able to do that. When you're off, so a day off, because again, you're walking in and you're saying sales consultant of this new home building company, I'm going to make you shine. And I'm going to do all your most of your work for you, and I'm going to make more money for you. And it's all about you. You tell me it's all about you, and I'm going to help you. In fact, I want to take you to lunch afterwards, but let's talk about what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an open house for you. I'm going to do all the work and do all the things on that. I'm going to sit in for your sales representative. So sometimes they have the sales consultant, the main one, and then some assistants. And so you say, hey, when they're off, I'll sit in and I'll, in essence, be free labor for you. I'll represent your builder when people come in, okay? That I'm available on days when the second salesperson is needed. So on weekends, maybe you need some help. Instead of having to go buy, hire somebody, that I could be that person. I'll follow up, and this is a big one, and that's going to build your business tremendously, that I'll follow up on all your leads. So what happens is people come in. They typically have a sign-in form. They leave their card. They leave their information, okay? And so the sales agent representative at the new home builder is supposed to then, like on Monday, do follow-up. Well, you say, I'll be happy to follow up. Why are you happy to follow up? They're all buyers. They're looking for a new home. And so you call them up and you say, and you represent the builder as far as, hey, this is so-and-so, and I'm calling on behalf of the builder. And I wanted to ask you, what did you like best? And so you follow up on that. What did you like best? Where are you right now? And then you also ask them, do you have a real estate agent? And if they don't have a real estate agent, you become their real estate agent, okay? So what percent is that? Well, you're going to have at least 10 leads, 10 warm leads on people that are actively looking to buy a home. And they're not necessarily buying a new home. They went to look at the new home, but they might want to buy another home. The other opportunity is you will help those buyers if they need to sell their home. So everybody probably has some home they're living in, right? And so you are willing to help them sell their current home and then buy this new home. You could also offer, depending on who you know and who you're connected with, bilingual services. So I have bilingual agents that you could partner up with a bilingual agent. If for example, you have a new home builder that is, primarily Hispanic, and Hispanics moving in and everything, you may want to go to one of our agents. And again, I can give you agents in your area, and they can do bilingual. Now, here's the reason why they're going to go with you every time, and why you want this second sheet for the customer, because on there, you're going to offer, and in big letters, you'll want to put the second sheet for the customer, that you're going to offer $1,000 to them that they can use towards closing costs, towards an upgrade, and the builder typically, that's music to their ears. And they'll say, oh, no, let's just do an upgrade, because they make a lot of margin on upgrades. And so you'd be willing to give $1,000. Where's $1,000 coming from? At closing. So typically these homes are at least worth $300,000. And so you're going to make, let's just call it, ballpark around $7,000. And then you're going to give away $1,000 to the buyer to do upgrades for them. And you can start seeing on how this is just a magnificent program, and nobody's offering it, and everybody wants to say yes to you. The builder wants to say yes because you're, in essence, providing $1,000 off the cost, which makes it lower for the buyer. And so they love you. You're going to help them do it. You're going to do open houses for them. You're going to sit in for them. You're going to do the follow-ups for them. Then you can do credit. And so we can also do, by the way, the mortgage. And so typically buyers already have a lender, but those lenders are pretty particular on what they're willing to do. When a buyer can't get financing from their lender, you can say, hey, I got a lender, and so I have a private bank, for example, that probably could get them at probably the going rate. And so no more than that. And they'd probably even throw in $500. So if you want to partner with someone, who I'm thinking of right now is Maria Leach, and so Maria, she works for a bank, a private bank that privately held. They hold their own mortgages, which is really cool. They have competitive rates, and they have bilingual services. And so I actually helped her hire a lady who we know that that's bilingual. And so actually you can get bilingual on mortgage if you're in DFW, and then some of you are outside of DFW, but there are other lenders that I have and other people that can provide this. But you can see on how when you start digging this hole, you're going to start seeing, it's kind of like, I'd rather have it that as you start opening up the clouds, that heaven's up there, okay? And so you just keep on digging in there and you say, oh my gosh, because that idea just came to me now on, hey, with the mortgage and everything. Well, she can also help for free with credit issues. So if that buyer has credit issues, you can help them and then give them to Maria. Maria will then take them from there. So it's really just an amazing opportunity to be able to have the different things that you want. Now, it gets even better than that. When you're under my umbrella, okay, that then you'll be able to use a technology to advertise in those homes that they have, the new homes that they have. You can take that listing, if you will, and you can put it into all of the social media and into thousands of people in all of the groups that you belong to or will belong to on this. And so now they're getting free advertising, and they're getting advertising at the #1 place where people are. Because where are the people? They're not in newspapers, they're not in magazines, they're not as much in TV as they are on social media, and TV is way expensive. Social media for free, you'll be able to literally, and through squeeze pages, the technology does squeeze pages. So this is a whole new opportunity that 5 years ago I didn't have. By the way, I've been doing this. Do you think this works? Let me tell you, I have a agent who 9 years ago, I shared this strategy. And because she came to me and she said, I want to make a lot of money and I want it really easy. And I said, well, I know the easiest way to do it. If you attract a builder and go to that builder and show them, give them this list. So she did what I asked her to. And for the last 9 years, she's made way over $300,000 a year. And it's easy. She doesn't have to do anything but that she goes in, talks with them. They basically just give her these warm leads, and she takes those warm leads. So it ended up that most of the stuff she didn't have to do, she does do the $1,000 thing on it, still makes over $300,000. So for 9 years, she's been doing it with the same builder, because they go from one place to the next place, and it's just like, and she goes, this is the easiest thing and the most money. And so she has plenty of time during the week and everything with her kids, and she's got a bunch of kids, and carting them to school and blah, 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 all that stuff. She has the opportunity to have real balance in her life, plenty of time, plenty of money, and to be able to serve people better than any other agent can because of this program. So I want to just stop there and open it up to any questions. Questions, thoughts? What did you like best about that?
I'm excited.
Dr. Hank,
Yes, Paula.
one of the things that I've run into with the new home builds is that sometimes they don't have an MLS number.
Yeah.
And so you can't do a squeeze page without an MLS number.
Right. So you can still advertise, though, as far as you on your social media.
Okay.
And so you're right. Some don't have the MLS. It's not a listing, if you will, and so thus you can't grab it from that. And so, but it also provides an opportunity for them to, you maybe want to have MLS number now and actually do listings. I'd be happy to do the listings. I've had agents do that where the builder didn't do listings, that they went and said, I got this whole program for you. And if you want to take advantage of this free advertising, that I'd be happy to do the listing for you. Now you get the listing.
Well, why would they not want to do a listing?
Well, because they think that their mindset has been, they haven't been offered what we offer. What they don't want to do is, oh, it's a listing, and then we're into commissions on both sides. Okay? And so they're looking at the two sides that they do it, because on one side, in essence, the listing, the sales representative, again, not a real estate agent, is typically getting 1 or 2%. So they don't have to pay that 3% on the other side. They have a budget for the 3% on the buy side because they can't live without us. Okay, and so they do that buy side. However, they have plenty of money. They make a big, large margin, and they're blowing and going right now, builders. So for you to go in and just suggest that, say, hey, and I could do the listings for you, offer that service. It's another service. In fact, you would put that as a service, that I can do the listings for you. And so I'm going to actually my last one actually is listing your inventory. I just never read it. It's actually on my paper, but here's an opportunity to do the listing. Now, if they come back to you, and again, don't bring it up unless they bring it up, but if they come back to you and say, hey, I got to pay my representative 2% on the sell side, say, well, listen, I'll go ahead and take 1%. They're going to sell that house, and you're making the 1% now, and then you're getting all these buyers. So now you're getting listings, and at a $300,000, you're making $3,000, for basically doing the listing. It doesn't take much time, and then putting it up on on the social media and advertising it for them. Yeah.
So if you take 1%, then is it an 80-20 split on the 1%?
Well, so under, where you are, that's a commission. So under our umbrella, it's 80-20. So everything is 80-20 until you cap. But this is a fast way to get to cap too, which is about 2%.
Right, I'm just asking if that's the way it works. The 1% is still the 80-20.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just want to know.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'll take 80. So, you make, let's say $2,400, $2,400, for hourly people. Do you know how many hours that is of work that they would need for $2,400? And again, the purpose of it really isn't to make that money. I mean, it's great having the $2,400, but the purpose is to build that relationship. The more you can get in there and own them. So the agent that I referred to that had this, her name's Tirsha, and in fact, she just joined under my umbrella. I think today that she did it Friday, but because of the weekend but she joined today. She was it. She just owned that thing. They loved her, and she took them out to the sales rep, out to lunch, and would bring lunch. Like some have done things like, hey, I'll come every Monday to pick up all the leads, and I'll bring lunch. Do you think you'd bring lunch and pay $20 or whatever for, 10 buyers, 10 warm leads? The answer is hell yeah. Yeah, great questions, Paula. Very good. Good. Other questions, comments?
I have a comment, Dr. Hank.
Hey,
a little unrelated to what you're talking about, but I think it hits on the nail about the 1%.
Yeah.
I had a investor approach me. He wanted me to list one of his houses, and it's not ready yet, but he asked me, he said, I've been working with another agent, and usually, I've been paying 6%.
Yeah.
Now, there's a group of investors that I'm about to work with. They asked me to ask if you can charge 1%.
Yeah.
I had to explain to him how that works because the way that it was explained to him, it was through one of these third party, you know, like Redfin and some of those. I said, they just don't tell you it's 4%. But I say, I told him I can probably, you know, consider that. My question is, Dr. Hank,
Yeah.
I keep hearing more and more about this 1%. How do you see that developing
Okay.
currently?
Okay, so here's how life is, and this is to understand life and how you can have it the way that you want it. I have been asked that question for over 20 years. Oh, they're really looking at, everybody's asking for 1%. And you know what? None of my agents do 1%. Okay, now in the example that I gave on that builder, that's where you're getting 10 leads a week and you're getting all kinds of stuff. But we create our own experience. You are the creator of your own experience. You have to understand, like the light bulb will at some point, hopefully right now, understand, I create this. It doesn't matter what anything is happening out there. And we proved that in the last 3 months, that all the other agents, like in the podcast I was on earlier, all the agents weren't doing any business, okay, because they weren't under my umbrella. They weren't us together, doing that. They weren't doing any business. I mean, I almost fell over when I heard that they weren't doing any business, because we didn't care what the hell was going on in the outside world. We cared what was going on with us. So one of the ways, so number one, Marco, and for all of us, don't be looking for that. Don't ever ask the question again. And again, you got to ask the question to me, and then I'll tell you where to go from now on as far as, if you want more of what you want. Because it's really easy. Like if you hear right now, in fact, I had somebody come to me 2 weeks ago and say, hey, right now the whole market is just doing $595. On each side. And I just blew up laughing. I went like, only in your world, baby. And because we create our own experience. And so what world do we want? We want the 3% or even higher. I have some agents that have taken this beyond. Screw the 3%. I'm taking 5% and they get it. It all depends what your mindset is. But let's just stay at the 3%. Here's a great example that has happened, and it's a response in any situation, Marco. And again, I'll get back to your specific situation in a second. But I've had hundreds of agents come up to me and say, hey, I got this, one of my relatives, my mom, dad, whatever, my aunt, whoever, some relative. I have a relative, they want to buy the house, and they asked me to discount my price, and, because it's my relative, I'm going to go down to 2% or 1%. And I said, oh, no, you aren't. No, you aren't. That you go back to them and you say, listen, I have decided that I'm going to give you premium service. Okay, the best service ever, premium service. And you know what I'm going to charge you? Just the regular rate. I'm not going to charge you the premium service. Normally, I got a premium service of 5% that I would charge you, but I'm only going to charge you 3%. Now, you could actually use that, Marco, as something to them on, that, yeah, for most agents that would be right, but I'm going to give you premium service. And then again, you want to know why it's premium service. You're on America's #1 team, that you have a means to, advertise this on social media and their listing like, nobody else can, in front of thousands of people and in the groups that you belong to. And again, that's with, KV Core. And just to mention that for a minute, I sent all of you should have received, or all of you under my umbrella received, the 12 modulars to KV Core. So if you wanted to know KV Core, most people, again, we're inside more than we're outside right now. that take the time and go through those 12 modules. You'll have it licked. You'll have it down, this KB Core. So again, I sent it to you with instructions on how to get it, but it's a guy that's doing millions of dollars of business with KB Core, and he's with us, if you will, and that he was kind enough, and he's a techie guy, so he was kind enough to share that information with us. But back to your specific question, Marco, kind of depends on the opportunity. So my first response is everything's a negotiation, right? And I'll pay you, like I tell people, I'll pay you $1 million as long as I'm making 1.1 million, okay? And I'm making a return on investment, right? So it's a matter of showing your value to that investor. So you wouldn't right away say, oh, 1%, sure, because that devalues you and it doesn't feel good. Like, just even when you ask that question, hey, how does the 1% sound to me? Like, it doesn't sound very good. It doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good. So, or 595, it doesn't feel good. So I'm telling you, all my agents do 3% or more. And so you can too. Now, with those investors, what I would recommend is it's all negotiation. So the investor, the reason why most agents don't like investors, where actually investors you can make mega bucks on, that is because they're always trying to squeeze the agent, okay? They're just negotiating. Hell, if I can pay you $3,000 instead of $9,000, I want to, unless you can show me why that extra $6,000 is a value. So what I would do is I would write up a similar thing as this sheet, but to the investor, and share all the things that you're going to do, that you're going to advertise it like nobody else can on the social media, that you have agents, you have over 1,000 agents in your market that you're going to send a notice on. And then in workplace, you actually send that out and say, hey, I got this, house available. And so, because agents that have a buyer that are looking in that area, they need to know. And so you're doing a service to all of us, by doing that. But I would really think about how you're establishing your value. And so one easy way is go back to the investor and said, hey, I really appreciate that offer. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to instead provide you premium service, and that includes marketing on the social media using this technology that costs $1,600 per month, and that I will do whatever. I'll list it for you. I'll send it out to over 1,000 agents in my market here. And so you do all of that, and you say, and what I'll do is, instead of charging you a premium price for all that, like I normally do, I'll just charge you 3%. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
I don't want to go more into detail about my conversations that I had with that particular investor.
Yeah.
But it sort of went that way. I told him,
Good.
I will give you full service. Yeah. I said, but it all depends on the price. And I don't want you to think that I'm being picky, but I said, like we're talking about properties that are going to be listed for $400,000, $500,000. I may consider that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's going to be less than that, I said, I'm sorry to tell you, I cannot do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I give him my reasons. I just want to go into details.
Yeah. And so again, I would reframe that whole thing next time, as we're talking. It's not what you're not going to do, because people don't want to hear what you're not going to do. Okay. I'm not going to do that. It just doesn't feel good. What you do is just focus in on what you will do. And so I'm going to give you premium service. So I like those words better, hey, I'm going to give you a premium service, and then list those services. And at that premium service, that instead of charging you a premium charge, that I'm going to do the regular 3%, and then be quiet. So, and then I'll charge you 3% and be quiet. And that be quiet, it's only a couple seconds, but people get nervous over that silence. You just be thinking, oh, I love that this investor is really taking me serious about what I can provide them, and that they're thinking about really taking me up on the offer. is. You're the creator of your experience. If you're thinking, oh man, they're not saying anything, and hell, I better just tell them 1%. I'll take it, otherwise I'll lose them. You know, all this other little stuff going on in your committee, you won't get what you want. Okay, you got to be thinking about what you want. In this case, you just think and go off into Dr. Hank's La La Land on, oh, they're just thinking right now, they're really considering what I have to say, and they just love that I'm offering so much service, and they really like me, and they're going to respond positively. And whoever speaks first loses. So let them speak first. And just be quiet. And I don't care if it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, but you keep on putting into your mind how you want them to respond. Okay? That is like negotiation to the nth. Teresa. Teresa, just because of time, we're out of time. It's 1:01. Did you have a comment though on with the investors? Yeah, I figured.
Oh, okay. So I came in late in the conversation, so I'm not sure what the issue was with that. I can share some experience on the negotiations on commission.
Okay, great. Yeah, and basically it's that Marco has an investor. The investor said, hey, we don't want to pay high commissions. We just want to pay 1%. And so we were talking to him about that. And so what percent do you get from your investors, Teresa?
Okay, so my experience has been that investors are double time spent. So I think it really comes back to confidence and self-value. So the way that I handle an investor is that my fee is 3%, and that's free to them. Because if they're purchasing a home, it's the seller that's paying the 3%.
Right, right. Now in this case, it was a listing.
Okay. So you have an investor that wants to list the property.
Yeah, but it's a good point as far as buying. They're not paying anything. So now we got half the market of investors. Hey, you don't have to pay, so give me my 3%. If it's a listing, what would you say?
So for listings, it's 6%, 3%. I'm going to prepare, market, and roll out massive action advertising campaigns for you. And it's approximately $1,200 right out of the gate. So that would be my upfront cost, not including my time. But it's the other agents that are going to bring the qualified buyers to purchase your home. So do you want to work with somebody like me who sells homes in typically the first couple of days with a proven and effective sales plan? Or do you want to work with an agent and come back to me if it doesn't work?
Dr. Hank, may I say something about that? That's one of the things that he actually brought up. He said to me, I can pay 3%, but why do I have to pay the other side? I said, you don't have to. I said, that can be negotiated. But just so you know, everything's a negotiation, I told him.
So Marco, the question would be, do you want to sell the home in the first week? Yeah. And then they say yes. Yeah, so there's some training, it's called Black Swan, blackswan.com, and it's negotiation trainings for the FBI. And so the first thing,
let me write it down.
blackswan.com. So the first question, you're welcome. The first question, you want to get them to say no. So the question would be, do you want to be on the market in 30 days? Well, no. Do you want to sell the property in the first week? Well, yes. So now you got the defensiveness out of the way. So the way that I do it, and I have many references for you with other clients, that I'm going to plan to sell your home in the very first week, if not before it even hits the market.
That's great.
Now, when I talk about before it even hits the market, I have a pre-listing stage, and that could be for maybe another meeting. And so a lot of properties that I have listings for don't ever make it to the market. And that has to do with reaching out to other realtors that have sold properties in the last 90 days in that particular neighborhood, to putting it out there on coming soon for the first 2 weeks in MLS with full-blown photo photography and ready to go. So it works. And so when somebody hears, you mean I'm going to sell it even before it hits the market or Zillow or anything? I say, yeah, you've got a 50-50 shot with my strategy. So it's really about building the value and not complicating it. Every once in a while, I will offer to do 5%. If it's a double transaction and if they need it. I'm working with someone right now that they are completely upside down in this house. And so I'm about to present the 6%, but there may come a point where that 1% is going to make the difference for them to be able to move on to purchasing their new home.
Yeah, so if you get a lot, then, you can, do that. So, Teresa, tell me that, I know you're doing some special training for your specific team. Does it include that information? Like on this pre-listing?
No, but we can add it.
So would you mind if Marco attended that training?
Oh, anybody is welcome. I mean, anyone in our group is family. So anything I do, everybody's welcome.
Okay, so Marco, it might be helpful, and Teresa, do you want to just go through, an overview of again, we're out of time here, but can you just give me an overview on what your training will be? Because every time you speak, everybody listens, Teresa.
Aw, that's so sweet.
And when they say, hey, what was the best part of, this thing? They say, well, when Teresa was talking.
No. I want everyone to win and be successful and healthy and wealthy. I truly am, lead with my heart. And so if there's anything I can do to help anybody, my phone is open to you.
What's an overview of that training? Can you just say, how many weeks is it?
Well, so right now I just launched a new 4-week. It's really about sharing my experience and listening to what it is that I call you partners, my other partners need.
Yeah.
So the first week is going to be like an orientation. And the orientation is really, to understand the structure of our resources.
Okay.
Dr. Hank, here's what Dr. Hank does. Here's what I do. Welcome people that are new and that sort of thing. So first 15 minutes.
Okay.
And
are you recording those?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, record those. So Marco, I'm going to send you that recording, and then anybody else, that training, because again, Teresa is an experienced, agent. She's been with Ebby Holiday and, one of the top agents at Ebby. She, last month did $35,000 of commissions. She's just rocking it. And this month, a bunch of closed sales. And I think she told me she has so many leads right now, she can't keep count of them.
No.
How many leads do you think you have right now?
I'm juggling about 6 buyers this week, 2 listings, and that's just a guess.
Yeah, got it.
I usually have a spreadsheet of who needs what when and who needs what now, and
Yeah.
I haven't been able to keep up with my list. And you know what, Dr. Hank, for me, it's not about the right now buyer or the right now listing. For me, it's about the relationship.
Yeah.
So I love to hear from people that their leases expire in February, for instance, this
Yeah.
morning, and somebody that lease expires in August.
Mhm.
Have the opportunity to build a relationship with them. And, you know, they're certainly going to refer people to me in the meantime as well.
Yeah.
So when I say 2 listings, even though they don't happen, if they don't happen, it's a new relationship.
Yeah. See, and it's that type of attitude that just,
Mhm.
you know, it just tweaks it a little. Like Ryan was sharing with us last week, you know, he's just putting out signs with love on it, hearts with love on it.
I love it.
And getting all kinds of business. You know, Teresa says, hey, it's just, you know, about just building those relationships. Everything will come when you come with heart, and just open up heart, but you have to be engaged. And that's why we have
Right.
all these different ways of being engaged. Guys, we are out of time. With that, I love the discussion, though, and that's what all this mastermind is about. And I appreciate everybody's input. And you know what time it is? We like to laugh and have more fun. We like to laugh and have more fun as we increase our income.
As we
We
increase our income.
Abundant mindset is our new game.
Abundant mindset is our
mindset
new
is our new
game.
game.
And money is our middle name.
Money is our middle name.
Only good things come our way.
Only good things come our way.
Abundant mindset is what we say.
Abundant mindset is what we say.
You can watch our blessings rise.
You can watch our blessings rise.
Let's see, where are you? Oh, as God gets us to magnetize, as God
gets us to
magnetize. All right, it's all about us feeling good and having life as it should. And this is what's happening to all of us that feel good. We're here for you. Contact us if you need us. Tomorrow is Health, Wealth, and Success at 12 o'clock. Invite all of your, and this is how you get engaged. This is a thing to uplift everybody, that we'll talk about the 3 steps to health, wealth, and success. Invite your list, your sphere of influence, your friends, your family. But this is the way to build the relationships on you, and especially at this time with the pandemic and blah, blah, blah stuff going on in the world. It's a time to connect, and they're going to remember you, and you're going to give them this gift of health, wealth, and success tomorrow at noon. And then on Thursday is for real estate agents, all real estate agents that you know, that bless them with the 5 steps to your GPS to success. And with that, I love you all. Have a super, super week. And we'll see you tomorrow, and know that everything is getting better and you are on your lighted path now. Love you. See you guys.
Everybody's leaving.
They are.